It's really feeling like Griselda season now. I don't know what it is about October, but when the skeletons and the pumpkins come out, Griselda come out and the rap game get a little bit spookier. Long awaited follow up to the original Stabbed and Shot. Excited about this joint because Benny and Spesh play off each other so well. Benny, despite the criticism I've given his last several albums, has one of the better pens in rap. The lyricism, the imagery, he can punch. And then when you pair that with Spesh's ability, where Bro can just drop a battle rap, shake the room caliber bar at any point in time, that makes for a really dope pairing. And as good as Spesh is as a solo artist, I think he's even better at times when he's paired up with another rapper. I know Spesh's label is called the Trust label, but one thing I do not trust is either one of their beat selection. You know, it's a lot of people not named Derringer or Alchemist on this album. V-Don is on here a good bit, so hey, that counts for something. It should be some heat though. Let's get to it.
Black
Little Moody B, something light.
Nigga, we gonna have it all. Everything. Yo, I'm kicking it, making business moves, looking after my shorties. Doing research on how to get richer after my 40s.
Because when you get rich, they start acting accordingly. Don't understand value, cause they lacking in morally.
I like this back and forth stuff. Y'all already know that's cheat code.
For me, so my name always heard like it's half of the story.
In a minute you regret it.
Hey dog, Spesh can punch, and I already like the chemistry from him. My name always get heard like half of the story. You always hear one side of the story, but I like how Benny left off his part saying, thinking about how to get rich, and then Spesh come in with the exact same topic, and he has the same rhyme scheme. That's hard.
You regret it? I'm getting you beheaded, and caskets dressed like y'all going to job interviews in heaven. I ain't
That's
here to say what
tough.
Tory
Come on,
did
Benny.
or didn't do to Megan. If I shoot her, it's with a dope needle. I'm giving you the testing.
When you ain't had plugs, I was giving you.
Yo, they wildin' right now. They said man got shot in the foot, and then you shoot the drug needle in the foot. That's toxic, dog. Having your girl tested for you.
You ain't had plugs, I was giving you connections. Took lines to your house like I'm giving you electric. Told my plug chill was getting too aggressive. 50 bricks in 1 week, sent the 2 addresses.
Only criminal.
Hey, I'm telling you, dog, Spesh trying to murder something. I brought lines to your house like I'm giving you electric. Them electrical lines, and he brought lines of code. Come on, dog.
Accepted. Far as friends, I'm on the fences. It's hard to trust a crook when you get to know the business. Now one time for
Facts.
that motherfucking plate.
I'm saying facts like I
Two
do.
times for the.
It sound real though. I feel like listening to Griselda made me qualify to push a little something, just a couple bells.
I'm a staple on that corner, but why every fiend I'm grateful on that corner. Make fools out of them. 1st of April on that corner. Now one time
All right,
for
that
that
was light.
motherfucking plate. And 2 times just for butchers.
That April
38.
Fool's bar
Niggas
wasn't in,
know
but
I'm a staple on that corner.
I'ma give 'em a
but why
pass,
every
they been
fiend I'm grateful
spazzing.
on that corner. Make fools out of them. 1st of April on that corner.
Dog, I can't express how much I love when rappers go back and forth. That's something I used to see a lot in like the late 2000s in rap, where you had 2 rappers going back and forth on the same track, and Griselda do it quite a bit, and I just love the energy of it. I mean, Conway and Westside Gunn did it to death on their first several albums. Especially done this back and forth thing with Benny before on their first project, with Conway, with Ransom. They got complementary styles to each other, so it's like they elevate each other's bars when they do that, particularly talking about Benny and Spesh here. Spesh had a couple of lines that stood out to me a little bit more than Benny's. He was really punching, but Benny, whose strength is normally when he gets into his vivid street talk, he does have a punching ability, but I really know Spesh for his haymakers, but Benny kind of stuck with him. Spesh came with a few more, but Benny was right there. The beat was cool. It wasn't nothing crazy, especially for V-Don, who I think really highly of. This was another day in the office for him, but it was some smooth keys. You had the nice, subtle drums in the background, cool little bass line. Tough song though, despite that April Fool's bar that I didn't like. This is high stakes.
I put it down like the stakes is high. I hate a nigga that sit around.
Spooky.
And
I don't
just
really
wait
like
to
it,
die.
but
I meet a
fit.
bitch that make her drive or make her fly with bricks and tell her hit me when you stabilize. Them the hoes that'll take a ride. That's why I barely date outside of my race like an Asian guy. I go broke, I'ma make a pie or turn the deuce into 731s like it's late July. And
That bar's stupid and fire at the same time. Hey, Asian dudes who not date outside their race, boy, they is not finna dishonor their parents. Yeah, that 731 is like his late July line in there too. 731, July 31st. That's cool. The Asian line was hilarious though. I like the whole storytelling that preceded it too.
In the jungle with boy, I got my first brick and treated it like it was a bundle of joy. Where I'm from, it's a void.
That's so funny. That's so fire. He said in the jungle with boy heroin, he got his first brick and treated like it was a bundle of joy. Basically saying the brick was special to it, and then the bundle of joy line plays into the boy reference that he had right before a baby boy. That's tough.
I used to cop from the Florida boys. Now I'm ignoring noise while getting top inside a foreign toy.
Hey,
Bitch, your man is a corner boy that only re-up with 7 grams. We call him corduroy.
Hey, what is Spesh? Oh, dog, he punching right now. That he only re-up with 7 grams. That's like a small re-up. He only a small time hustler. We call him corduroy because 7 grams is a quarter.
Y'all know how I got this shit. I had to cop a lot of cane. If them shots did not exchange, our rider's not the same. Big lame truck, 2024, the body not the same. That's
Come
the
on,
old
man.
one, the baby goat like Bryson Bronny James. This my life inside a rage. Let me show y'all what it's like behind the stage. Because in rap, the pace cycle 90.
I've been critical about Benny's last several projects, but it ain't been the lyricism that's been the issue, man.
3 bricks and my nephew 4. They both a Tyler age. I put a block of yay in a blender white potty train. I was good with 1 foot in like receivers in college games. I'm the chief.
That's
I buy guns and get pieces.
fire. That's fire. That's fire. I was good with 1 foot in. He was saying he was rapping and he still had 1 foot in the drug game. And then in college football, it's a catch if you only get 1 foot inbounds as opposed to NFL where you got to get 2 feet inbound. That's crazy.
Told the plug I'm getting close. On the way I'm with Special. He said bring a box of shells and a case of Modelo.
Hey, I ain't crazy about this beat, and I'm almost scared about all these no-name producers on here. No disrespect to whoever you are, but that beat was very Griselda-type beatish. The keys was kind of cool, but it kind of sounded like they came out of a free sample pack. I'm not gonna hold you. Drums was okay, but dog, the rapping, boy. Hey, Spesh came out the gate with that I don't date outside my razor line, which, look, that ain't the craziest punch in the world, but that junk is hilarious. But after that little jab, man, it was just haymaker, haymaker, haymaker. And I think he had the better verse out of the two, but Benny came with it, man. I think he really played his strengths with the lyricism. His rhyme schemes were crazy on this song. But I will say his 1 foot in the game line, that might have been the craziest punch on the song, which is saying a lot. That song is tough, man. It's gonna go even crazier when Big Ghost come over here with the remix versions where he get different beats, all these songs. But yeah, that song was crazy. This is Thruway music too.
Yeah, it ain't no secret that I really found plugs and showed the town love. I put it down before I had an underground.
I appreciate you trying to put your people on, but they gotta stop using these in-house producers, man. This beat ain't it. These beats feel like you got a Rolls Royce Wraith with the black ice tree air freshener hanging down from the mirror. They got $1 million mansion with a car sitting on tires in the front, man.
When you stay down with your dogs, this is the reward. We was poor, no furniture, sitting on the floor. Fast forward, me and my son sitting on the floors. I ain't budge when they
No furniture, poor flip to the floor side seat flip. That's good.
The spot I'm in, I couldn't dream of more. But this game is hard to love. It feel like siblings that you ain't meet before. And I'm still moving merch, so imagine that stopping.
Some of these lines ain't the craziest, they just funny, man. And then they kind of build on each other because it's punching back to back to back. They trying to turn lemons to lemonade with this beat.
I'm from the crack era where pitching wasn't easy. Ain't no table in the house. Sit that digi on the TV. Little snot nose. I come for 50 if you need me. Block slow, feeling like Adidas. Sitting on them Yeezys. I'm not into that. I know about y'all.
I like the imagery right there, rapping about how the trap was moving slow. First, he painted that picture saying that they had the digi-scale sitting on the TV. And then he was saying the drugs weren't moving. He was just sitting on them like how Adidas sitting on the Yeezys right now. He low-key might have missed out on the flip because they call shoes that ain't worth nothing bricks. He could have used a little brick flipping that. Look, man, as soon as I launch my ghostwriting career, dog, it's over.
On them breezes.
And I ain't gonna be above gassing up my own bars on this channel either.
So ain't no pictures when you see me. And weak floors at the top just mean your ceiling more squeaky. Butch.
I ain't gonna hold you, dog. This is my worst fears realized. I think that song is just cool. Spesh and Benny held up their end of the bargain. Now, Spesh's verse wasn't nearly as good as they were on the first two songs. He just had one really big punch where it was back-to-back and bigger haymakers on the first couple of songs. Benny slightly had the better verse, a little bit more vivid detail, a little bit more lyricism in there. Wasn't too many over-the-top punches from either one of them. But this song got a relatively low ceiling when you rapping over that beat. Like, I was waiting for the 360beats.com drop to come out because that beat, man, it gotta be a higher budget for this, man. The beat sounded free, the drums generic, the horns were generic and outdated. That sounded like some generic horns from a mid to late 2000s beat that you would have found on LimeWire trying to find your favorite song, and you just stumble on somebody freestyling to a beat like this. It wasn't the worst song in the world though, because the rapping was straight, but I'm cool with not hearing it again. This is Who Really the King? Jesus.
Yeah, who really the king? It's me a Spesh. It's like upstate got a switching crown. The best to go back and forth since Kissing Styles. Every time we drop, the hottest shit.
None of these beats are crazy. Like, even the V-Don beat is V-Don punching below his weight, but these are passable. At least you get the spooky aesthetic, even if, like, the samples ain't blowing you away, the drums ain't the most expensive sounding drum pack to be nice. It worked.
Stabbed and shot two.
This works. Not that last track.
Coming, nigga. So fuck who said what? That type of disrespect, y'all make the news over. In traffic with teenage shooters like AAU coaches. The money stop when the custodies drop. Don't make it too potent. Do what I told y'all on 5 to 50 and make a new hole. I'm good in this game of numbers. It's like
I like that 5 to 50 reference.
And when it's dry, we only drop shit to entertain each other. And they been begging for the stabbed and shot shit. Like they been begging for me back when I up and left for rap and got rich. Then double back crazy. In an apricot 6 then jumped out that rock and a quarter above my waist wearing Travis Scott kicks. Dick for purchase,
Killed for cheap, a G a person. A crook when your life gets took, no reimbursing. If he live and he need the nurses, defeat the purpose. So he shot him and shot him again, like he rehearsing. I don't know who sold more birds, me or churches.
Come on,
Price
Spesh.
is so young
Come
that
on,
they can't read
Spesh. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. Spesh kind of rapping possessed right now. That G a person to the no reimbursement to open the verse was tough. Then the who sold more birds, me or churches. That ain't the craziest bar in the world, but it come right off the heels of that last line. And then the price is so young they can't read in cursive. Like, how they don't be teaching cursive in school no more. On top of that, it's all gritty with pretty dope rhyme schemes. Not quite on the level as Benny when it comes to lyricism, but it's up there.
How you laid on the rent when you and your bitch got matching furs? That's my word, y'all have some nerves. Niggas act like family, but family ain't an action word. Was passing birds past the curb.
Man.
Now it's about taking cash I earn, making it grow tax deferred. Trust.
Talk that financial literacy-ish. Especially on that, I can give you the 4 or 1K or give you the 401K. That was trash. We still got a few kinks to work out with this ghostwriting business. But tough song, man. They are really rapping out of their minds right now. I got them neck and neck as who had the better verse. Benny was sounding hungry, man. Same lyricism and vividness as before, but he sounded even more urgent on this song. It matched the spookiness of this beat dope, and then Spesh, like, can't stop punching, dog. If you made me choose who had the better verse, I think I'm siding with Spesh just slightly. This sample ain't really moving me that much, but it sounds a little less generic than like the generic horns on that last song, or even the pianos on the High Stay song. Much like that V-Don beat on that first track where the beat don't blow you away, but it still gives you a good aesthetic. A fire song though, carried by the rapping. This is Center Stage.
Judge a man by his handshake. Every member of my squad built a bond that they can't break. I stashed work at my aunt's place. Both of my aunts rushed to find why I hit it. Now that's an ant's race. I can't wait.
That Conway special where he'll take a rhyme scheme and take it from start to finish. I like the imagery here, but when Spesh is not punching, I don't think he's quite as special. It almost just feels like you missing something. It's a solid verse so far though. It just ain't crazy like the last several.
Prison turned men to slaves, became a slave to his pen, start snitching and was sentenced days. One brick is a beginner.
That's hard. That's a dope little scheme right there. He said prison term, men are slaves. Slave to his pen, started snitching, was only sentenced days. So he got locked up, started talking, and he had a short sentence, and then the pen is a play off of sentence, like a writing pen, and then a sentence in English.
That paper won't make us friends, I'm too gangster to make amends. Hate from rappers I shape, I won't make the mistakes again. They come home after they tat teardrops on their face on bids. Then I help niggas get a clear shot like I'm Jason Kidd. Change that I made from hustling don't take away pain and suffering. We treat goals like snipers do targets. You aim above it, hand in that pot when that bitch start talking. I made it.
That's fire, because the gravity will bring the bullet down and he want to shoot past his goals.
Hand in that pot when that bitch start talking. I made a puppet. It was close. I made the most off the seconds and take the flush.
The pot start talking, he put his hand in it to whip it, but puppet flip, that's crazy.
I'm going out there for myself.
Hey, this song was cool. I love what I heard from Benny. He had a better verse by a long shot, bro. He was going crazy with the lyricism, the imagery. He had the better bars as far as better punchlines out of the two. Spesh was just fine. In a vacuum, this verse would be pretty good, but given the context of how he been rapping on this album, it was just all right. And then the beat's cool too. It ain't nothing out of the ordinary. This vocal sample got bling era vibes. I don't think it's the best mix when you have it combined with these thumping. I think those are 808 drums. It's either 808 or 909s. There was some kind of synthetic drum. But I mean, Benny is hell bent to rap over these type of beats. I don't really get why. But hey, at least it don't sound free. He sound like he paid some money to clear this sample. So Benny getting his lit back after Spesh been out rapping him on a lot of these songs. With my some better production, no. This is Brick Specials.
Ayo, Bush. These niggas in trouble.
Hey, you know what? It sound like a fan produced album. Like the beats ain't bad. They just like not good. It don't make me mad, but it slightly annoy me.
We legit rebels. I'm the rose from the concrete that grew to have 6 petals. Hustling scams, I flipped several. We had so much dirt on our hands, we traveled with shovels. Learn these hoes as 6
That's a pretty good
devils.
line.
I'm quick to kick a bitch out of the whip and tell her kick pebbles. My life like a lit festival. Used to stash dope inside rice like mixed vegetables. Trust.
The dope inside of rice like mixed vegetables. Hey, talk that fried rice ish, but that's a pretty cool line. The verse is alright. You know, to be more specific, it ain't even the quality of the verse. It's the fact that Spesh, when it comes to his lyricism, it's good, but he got one speed. He's going to give you a 3-syllable rhyme scheme. He can take it for a very long time, but it's not going to be much variety. You're not going to get that much versatility with the flow. The element that makes his verses dynamic is the punching. So if there's no punching there, it's going to get stale when you're listening to him for a full album. Especially with no punching is cool, but over the course of an album, he started to cool you to death. I ate you to death.
They smoked through a screen, that'll slim down the beauty queen to pageant weight. My girl was mad at dates I had to break. 9 years later, she rich with me. Her magic trait was having faith, but my magic trait was bagging weight. I made a few stacks a day before sundown, like a matinee.
That's fire. But you can already see the difference in lyricism between Spesh and Benny. Like, Benny's only using a 3-syllable as well, but he's using it like 5-6 times over the course of 2 lines, where Spesh was just used at the end of the bar. And you ain't got to be counting syllables to tell the difference. You can just hear it. You can just tell off rip that it's a difference in the complexity of the pockets they getting in.
I advocate for all the trappers' sake. Cause a hustler without nothing to sell, just a talent waste.
Just strictly talking about the rapping, I'm a fan of this rapping. The issue that I spoke on Spesh is exactly why I like him when he's collabing with other people. Because if it was just Spesh, all Spesh, every single song, and he had the same kind of flow and rhyme set up the whole way through, it would get really, really boring. But Benny comes in and it's a change of pace where you get that extra dimension of lyricism that Spesh doesn't provide by himself when he's not punching. Now, when he's punching, I don't care what the rhyme schemes sound like. I'm trying to have my face scrunched up from hearing something crazy. We didn't really get that here, but the rap was still good. It's just the beats are starting to irritate me, man. These guys have access to way too many fire producers to be rapping over these beats, man. The sample is fine. It's kind of a Halloween spooky type aesthetic, but it's just not an interesting sample if you're going to be looping the same sample with these short 4-bar loops. The beats is like eating at Chili's, where it ain't the best food, and you cool with it every now and then, but I ain't trying to eat Chili's for 6 days straight like I've heard these beats for 6 tracks straight. The fact that I don't see Derringer on here for another 5 tracks here concerns me a little bit, but let's get into Jesus Arms.
Bitch, we back to bang 'em with heat till somebody start to partially bleed. They blood a rain on the hood, watch all the rest of take heed. Always come to offer the cure with the best of the mead. Pure it in the holy water that be blessing your seed. Higher than a hiker that's climbing a mountain of weed. Blessed like it's God in the flesh and
I
not
don't mind this beat. I'm slightly biased because I love this sample. Kai used the R.I.P. on his track, The Cold and Lonely, off of Honor Killed the Samurai, and that's probably the best beat he's rapped over, maybe outside of something from his last project. His song got an entirely different feel to that song, even though this sample is pretty much unchanged, just because the energy that the drums give it.
back to the party and please, I got some articles read. Them dudes unstoppable, they do impossible
Okay,
things.
Kai didn't use this string section on the beat, so this is different.
Periodically, we whipping the foreign.
I don't necessarily like it that much.
Full of money, drop the top
Oh,
of the
I don't think
ring.
the strings actually part of the sample. That might be a second layer of strings, if I'm not mistaken.
A lot of you niggas better start rethinking your top 5.
Know what I'm saying?
Fuck
All
out
right,
of here.
Bus. Man, that sounded like vintage Buster. He was more so in that hit making bag than his more lyrical, I'm trying to out rap you bag that we mostly hear him when he collabs with these underground rappers. Welcome sight to me, especially because the fact that it gives you a change of pace from any other song on this album.
I came up from carrying weight and bought a crib upstate by Darien Lake. Rumors that my future's scary and great. Won $100 million and $20 bills with Harriet face. Y'all boys is barely awake.
Yo, they lied to us, bro. Where them Harriet 20s at, dog? I ain't forget. I don't think I'm voting, but if somebody say they gonna bring these Tubmans, they can buy my vote with that. Kamala, if you really want to show people that you black, let me see them Tubmans.
I need to read up on. I caught packs in the kitchen, hands outstretched like Jesus arms. I sold crack, but now I act the movie.
That's cool.
They see my face on the screen, they relapse and go right back to using. And
Boy, Benny be acting like everybody done seen that, but ain't nobody watched that movie outside the Griselda fans. Boy, be acting like he an Oscar-nominated actor. Nah, that's cool that he got that movie, dog, bro. He be milking it.
I'm a mobster's black soprano unit. New ops, old pounds still shoot straight, but the handle ruined.
Yeah, dog, this is exactly what this album needed. I know this was a lead single, but I didn't peep this single beforehand. I think it was sequenced really well in an album where the album was getting a little monotone, in my opinion, and this beat was just far different, a lot better than any other beat on this album up to this point. Maybe the beat on beat was close as far as just pure quality, but this was the most dynamic sample on the beat. It wasn't the same just 4-bar loop going on in this song. The drums are just not what I expect on a Griselda song. More so seemed like they was down Busta's lane, which is why he sounded so at home on this track. But I love the energy from this track. I think Benny had the best verse on here, but Spesh and Bus went far off. I'd say Bus probably had the second best. His flow just went hand in hand with the bounce of this track. Spesh, you can extend this criticism I had from his last song to this one. He did have like 1 4-syllable rhyme scheme to break up his usual pocket, but it's a lot more enjoyable when you get a dynamic beat and a guest feature on here. I'm rocking with that one. This is Hometown Hero.
Lyrical genius, this rap shit was a miracle to me. I'm from holy ground, Buffalo like Jericho.
Hey, them mid-2000 rappers done poisoned the pot, bro. Because there was nothing wrong with that line, but anytime I hear somebody rhyme lyrical with miracle unironically, it's a no for me, dog.
I'd rather be in the grand fight, be in the clown's presence. Haters won't see me down stressing. Instead, I'm caked up. I wake up receiving wild texts. Made 300,000 feet in my child.
He slightly switched up his flow in this song, which I think comes off dope.
Rappers act like they really the nicest. They just high off coke and they energy spiking. Niggas sniff and didn't get identity crisis. Y'all slightly above average like the Tennessee Titans.
It's a good song. This album just getting held back by production. I mean, it's the exact same criticism that I had for the first Stabbed and Shot. The rapping is on point at a lot of times in this album. It's been special. Still not getting those huge haymakers from Spesh like we were at the beginning of the album when he was really going crazy. But he stepped up the lyricism slightly in this song. Benny has been solid from start to finish. There's points in this album where Spesh has out-rapped him, but he's been more stable and steady. He's at least maintained like a 7, 7.5 to an 8 out of 10 at rapping. Sometimes it'll spike a little bit higher than that, but he's been dumb consistent. The production just mid. It is what it is. These aren't special samples. At least this loop was a little bit more complex than some of the other ones on here, but Still not a good one. This is Bad Guy.
Harry Fraud gon' hold me down as soon as that beat loop. Hey, yo.
Is that like a new drop for Harry Fraud? That one ain't it.
I grew up around shady dudes that trade me tools they would use for some months like baby shoes. I never been afraid to lose.
Hey, he ain't lying either. I got 2 kids on the 2. You lucky if you go some months.
Sons gonna be coming, they pops me. You know this shit a cycle. I raised kids I knew
That's
was
a
the minds
6-7
like
round
Joseph
scheme.
from the Bible. We go to
Performance, housing elevators, we played corners. Now we race foreigns. I kept it cool as them gray Jordans. Place got steak on them.
Yeah.
Some got active, some laid dormant. Condo space.
Side note, the Cool Gray 11s, that's a top 10 Jordan.
All for the cheap deal. The cargo in the car was 30 years at least. Felony
He
on
talking.
my name, stood on my feet still. Played the parking lot of mama job, that's when the beef real. Couldn't walk in my shoes, you won't understand how my feet feel.
I hate to say it, dog. This album kind of boring. Like, I don't hate it, but it's just boring. It's only 10 tracks in. It's already starting to feel too long because you're just not getting any variety and you're not getting those standout scrunch your face up punches that you're getting on those first couple of songs. Harry Fraud, as much as I hate him, he's been the best producer on here, which it's a mid-off anyway. It's like winning the Pac-10 this year. What's that even worth? The sample is cool, but the drums, and I don't even think they fit that well together. Especially Benny, you just copy and paste what I said about the last 3-4 songs. Davies was good. I probably would enjoy this a little bit more if this was earlier in the album. He just doesn't offer the same level of versatility and energy switch up that Busta did with his feature. His verse almost sounds interchangeable with Spesh's and Benny's, except for he did have a couple of more punches in there. They weren't the craziest haymakers and they weren't on the level of Spesh at the beginning of this album, but he had a little bit less lyricism than Spesh and Benny. It was a solid verse. It's just more of a testament to the album than the individual song. This is Money Counter.
When I was young, moms made us read Psalms and Proverbs. Now I only say a prayer before I buy birds.
I was right out after time served. Steady hand while that 9 stirred. Most hustlers got calm nerves.
These niggas follow me like
I love
wise
the
words.
back and forth,
I gave
dog.
bags with strings attached like dry herbs.
Shootouts, entertainment, and crime merge. It's hard to
He gave bags with strings attached like he wanted that favorite return. And then how you get the little tea bags with the little herbs in it that got the little string tied to it. That's tough, dog.
Bitches ain't shit, so I live a safe sex life. My next kid, I'ma get a DNA test twice.
I only talk in body language, yours be verbal. A boss can read the room like the Wall Street Journal. That money counter up.
Well, chorus came out of nowhere.
I was down,
I
but
didn't
now I'm
need it.
up. Was just laying on the brick, you wouldn't know what to do with one.
And y'all know what my music done.
They talking
Help 'em
slick,
navigate
dog.
through the slums, show 'em how to get to and from. Cause I was on the foolish run and realized a black lawyer is just as good as a Jewish one.
I could have took a whole album of this, dog. This is what I want from Benny and Spesh. Just like with that first track, the back and forth, the punches, the gritty street talk, it was all there. And then this was the best beat probably on the entire album, maybe outside of Jesus Arms. Vita just got a level of polish that none of the other producers on here have had. Even he himself on the first track he produced didn't have this level of polish, where the sample wasn't nothing outside of the box. It wasn't too crazy, but it was a smooth sample, moody sample, and his drum selections, these were the best drums on the entire album, even including Jesus Arms, in my opinion. Tough song. I think the album needed this. It's been the best track in a very long time. This is Internal Affairs. Bro, we should have been had Derringer. Come on,
Derringer, you crazy for this
dog.
shit.
Y'all hear these
That
horns?
stabbed the shot too.
You got this high-low contrast because the horns sound borderline majestic, and then you got this gloomy, dark bass line. Derringer been in his bag this year, man. He just coming off a crazy project with Rome Street.
That bitten, my sentence long, name written on prison walls. My bitch took off, my team held it down, and my chips was gone. My
Come on,
New York
dog.
plates is sit on my bitch's lawn. My connect, like all states, you can leave with the brick and short. Fuck that bougie shit. Making noise if the kitchen's small. With a blick, of course, a hot plate, a pot, and an extension cord. Before stabbed and shot one.
Boy, what I got in the crib, man, I'm finna start bagging up coffee beans or something, dog. I'm finna start breaking down basil leaves or something.
I had a cocaine flow. My cannon talk like Shannon Sharp on a post-game show. I get a block,
But like he was talking to that one girl on that live.
twin.
They caught him with the snow bunny on the IG live.
Box rule, burn something, you never return the heater. Get that strap back and had niggas singing like Shirley Caesar. Let's
Benny lost his mind right there, dog. That verse got coke residue on it.
Hey, y'all, living a rap life ain't where I got my cash right from. I lived a fast life. I ain't have a past like dumb. I learned if you don't chase bitches, then the cash might come. My bag heavy, yours lighter than my half-white son. Huh, you ain't had your stacks right, your act tight dumb.
Boy, why this man so ignorant? Hey, what happened to dating inside your race like an Asian dude?
We was the ones up top that knocked COs in the county. We made gumbo from hot Cheetos. Humble, I came home and got kilos. For running my house with your friends like Casamigos. And I give y'all all shots for cheap, but it's not Tito's.
They tax on Tito's now. Well, at least they do in Atlanta. They tax for everything in Atlanta. A beer gonna run you $8. At least.
Life is real. You might
Oh,
come
I forgot this man was on this song. I don't want to hear this.
you might get killed. I'm with my folk. Old heads always with the smoke. Cypress Hill. 30 in a box was tightly sealed. They heard you like
I'm rocking with the Cypress Hill bar.
outside. The pack's hungry. Glass up between my driver's seats. Like cab companies. Player hit.
Yo, where's this coming from? I ain't never heard OT the Real spit like this, dog. Yo, every punch ain't hitting, but dog, he's swinging, dog. Glass in between the seats like cab companies, like glass. He transporting meth, like how the cab companies, the taxi companies be having that glass in between the driver's seat and the passengers in the back. That's a hard bar. That might be bar to song.
The money's all good till it's bad. Then that's ugly. Walking past undies. I dap junkies. Yeah, my trap loves me.
Hey, inject that song in my veins, dog. That song is hard. But everybody pulled their weight, man. That song was looking like the '04 Pistons, dog. Everybody was going to the All-Star game. I mean, for one, Derringer, that beat was disgusting. Following Derringer and seeing his evolution has been amazing, where he's always had that signature sound, but he's expanded on it, where he doesn't just get in that spooky bag and he doesn't just get in that minimalistic bag. He can play with different instruments, some brighter samples. He can get into some more dynamic and maximal beats. This beat has been it, and he ain't make a bad beat this year. Benny had a super enjoyable verse. The lyricism, the gritty street talk, matched with how urgent the delivery was tough. Spesh did his numbers. He had some very humorous punches in there. And then OT the Real, he caught me off guard, man. He had just as vivid coke talk as Benny and Spesh did, and he was punching, dog. He was trying to go toe-to-toe with Spesh, and he had the best bar on this entire song with that glass in between the seats line. That song was it, dog. Good 2-song run right here. This is Intent to Sell.
The mother load was expensive. We flew it in privately. The drugs make it through. It's gonna boost the economy.
Come on, man. Y'all can't get Derringer to produce a whole album. Derringer and V-Don. I don't get it. This is not the worst beat in the world, but it ain't nothing like the last track.
The Black James Bond, a new Sean Connery, but the difference is I'm rich.
Also, this drum pattern itself with the hi-hats and the snare is so generic that normally when I hear this pattern, it turns me off anyway. But whatever, the bars might save it.
It was in rivalry.
Probably not, but hey.
Mexican dope, Korean cut. The dog food I keep always cheap, like I'm breeding mutts. Trust.
I like that line.
I caught from dope dealing, birds exchanged for Benjis. Might have turned from the game, but really, my nerves still the same. It's in me. I see a good block, I might catch them urges the same. You dig me?
Dog, I know I be nerding out about these syllables more than most people, but man, that's a tough rhyme scheme. The lyricism has been there from start to finish. If it ain't both of them firing on all cylinders, at least one of them giving you a fire verse. Benny got it right here. It's just the production, dog.
Cause we know we nice. We know niggas can't fuck with us, man.
You know, if you grew up through underground hip hop in the 2000s, you can put up with this production because we've been through a lot worse as hardcore hip hop heads. But I'm just used to better beat selection from Griselda. Like, Benny has better projects than this, especially us to an extent, but it's because the production choices have been a lot better than they have been on this album. This ain't the worst beat of the world, but just compare this to the Derringer beat or even a Beat On beat 2 songs ago, and they just don't compare. It just feels like a low budget beat. It feels like not much was spent on the samples and not much was spent on the drum pad. It is what it is, and at this point, it's kind of compounding on each other, but I will say these last 2 songs bought me a little bit more patience to get through the rest of the album, especially seeing that Ransom's on the next song. Let's get into it. This is Coke Runs. Speaking of bad beat selection, that boy Ransom can't pick a beat either.
Powder, I endorsed it. I had to monetize my market. The only trapper to put an ATM outside of my apartment. Hustlers ride around in Porsches. Yes men cried around in bosses. We got plugs from flying down to Florida, riding around Explorer, buying brown in Chinatown, tying down the corner. Every king will.
Bro, Benny's pen has been on point. He got a 6-syllable rhyme scheme, and then the first couple syllables, the first 3 syllables is Chinatown, and he's using that as the internal rhyme scheme. I'm telling you, Spesh might have had higher highs, but his pen has been elite pretty much from start to finish.
Especially him standing next to me, he's featherweight. Bump heads, he wasn't expecting to meet Leatherface. Background check, came back.
That's a tough line. Bump heads, like we get into it, he wasn't expecting to meet Leatherface. Leatherface, I never seen that movie, but I'm assuming he was like a serial killer or something. That's a good flip.
The butcher, nigga.
Yeah, what these rappers don't do is resonate. Let's set it straight. I ran more rackets than any tennis great. Won't hesitate. I'm getting fed up.
That's tough. I'm surprised I haven't heard that line before. I'm sure somebody's probably said it, but this is the first time I can think of hearing it. I ran more rackets than any tennis great, like more racketeering.
Yeah, a roasted array of veggies with bread and steak. Don't set a plate for that nigga there, cause he wasn't bread at 8. Let's celebrate. Yes. My man's home from selling weight, got 11 crates.
I like how you use that bread, like the food flip to bread. He wasn't bred at 8, like he wasn't reproduced as an 8.
Then he states, I'll see you in hell. I told him to set the date, cause I've seen 8 sections of hell while living in section 8. Damn. As a youth was labeled a bad boy, but still blessed with faith. Yes. Check the tape.
And be careful of them bad boy flips, man. Stay away from the diddler.
Fuck turning 1 into 2. I'ma push for 3, and if I gotta bring it to you, I need a booking fee. Look at these rap niggas acting like hoes. I picked a mother look for a profit. I put everybody in boxes like a yearbook. Your hearts wear fair.
That's fire. Come on, Spesh. That's tough. How everybody got them faces in a little box in the yearbook. That's crazy.
Stop acting like a thug when you soft in a weird puss. My dress code got them scared shook. All kind of furs, midnight tonight I might wear a wolf. Trust.
That's fire. That's fire. That werewolf punch, he might actually wear a wolf fur in werewolf. That's cold. Yeah, solid song. The beat, I was okay with it at first, but that's not that great of a beat either. It's all right. Much like other parts of the album, the rapping was great though. I think the rapping was good enough here to overcome the iffy beat. Plus that beat wasn't as bad as some of the other beats on here. I think Benny and Ran had it. I'd probably say Benny had the best verse, which is, that's a good accomplishment. I think Benny at his best can take Ransom at his best, but I think Ransom is generally more consistent than Benny. Like I said, that sounded a lot because Benny got a fire pen, but I think his lyricism won up Ransom's lyricism, and I think he might have had more quotables too, even though Ransom was really witty with his pen. Spesh trailed behind them a little bit, but he had the biggest haymaker out of everyone. Very solid song right there. Let's get in the watch list.
Now when I jumped off, the porch was probably near fall. The game was easy, like I declared war. Now stepping on bricks, what I stand for. And I sold more synthetic shit.
At least V-Don got better drum selection than most people on this album.
In the hair store, I send chicks to the airport with bricks, and if they happen to get pinched, it's their fault. Go ahead, snitch, I dare y'all. Got on the line with the cops and died, now that's a fair call.
Game, these minor adjustments I'm calling out. You know I raised the kind of wolves you got a pet with a 40 cal. I need a chopsticks when I heard I got my spot hit. Grammy nominated and on the FBI watch list.
Drugs that I sell make you feel a higher bliss. 2 things I hate, bills and IRS, But I'm all about building alliances, buying properties, getting deals on appliances.
Much like a lot of songs on this album, okay beat. And honestly, the fact that V-Don hasn't had the best production on here is probably the biggest disappointment to me because I am a huge fan of his production most of the time. His drum selection has been great. It's just been these samples are just not that interesting in my opinion. The ascending horns sound fine. It's just not the craziest sample selection. I think he's also a little bit better when he gets in that spookier, grimier bag. But I mean, good rap from Benny and Spesh. I don't think it was either of their best verses, especially if you take Spesh's first verse and Benny's only verse on here. I think Spesh stepped it up a little bit with his third verse, or with his second verse, the third verse on the song. And we saw a little bit more lyricism that we've seen at other points of this album. Overall, solid song. I think the song's Money Counter, Internal Affairs, even Coke runs have made this album less boring than it was like midway through. It is dragging on a tad bit too long though, but we finna close it out with Power.
I was guilty as hell, wain't tell, so I feel innocent. Take me back to my cell so I could build inner strength. Push-ups, pull-ups, and dips. I'm real militant. Who would've known I come home and build businesses?
Motherfucking real money and take that shit to Hefe. It come through the mail the next day. You know traffic is a decade.
Business been thug, mama raised the plug. I go hold a
El Camino. I know that boy owes somebody some money.
Just bought a watch that I'ma pass off in a year or two. And built a brand new crib with walls I can hear through. Who gon'
make an interrogation like uneducated fools? Huh? We stayed quiet like meditation room.
Had everything in the game and everything to lose. So we opened up them traps like they was FDA approved.
Thankfully, that was a strong beat to end the album. It's a really textured sample, and I really like that vocal sample. It seemed out of the box, and it was a good change of pace from a lot of the beats on this album. Rapping, copy and paste what I said on the last several songs. It was fine. You don't have the haymakers from Spesh, and this isn't the absolute best verse from Benny, but I don't think either one of them spent a bad verse on this entire album, and same thing is true with this song. Overall, this album is cool. You get a mixed bag because the rapping is so on point that I think they just left a lot on the table by having mid production. I think even if the beats were just slightly above average, this could be at least a top 20 album of the year. Benny and Spesh just have such a good chemistry and they play off each other so well. Like I said, for the most part, Spesh is best when he's rapping with someone else to add another layer of dynamicism that sometimes he lacks in his solo projects. Benny is fine wherever, but he just sounds great when he has those heavy punchlines coming in from Spesh. This was here at points. Other points when Spesh wasn't giving you those crazy haymakers like in the middle of the album, it would have been fine if the production was good, but the production just wasn't great at all points of this album. It was just a lot of simple, free, type in Griselda type beat on YouTube and you will find a beat on similar caliber of a lot of these beats here. But that said, if you like Stab and Shot 1, I don't see why you wouldn't like this one, outside of the fact that this one just drug on a little bit longer than Stab and Shot 1. But be that as it may, I can't be mad at a really good showing. The stellar pins from Benny and Spesh. If I had to say who was better on this album, for the first half of it, it really looked like Spesh had this joint in the bag, but I think Benny showed out, especially on the second half of the album, and his consistency was really needed, especially given that the production and just Spesh's punching, not his overall quality, kind of waned a little bit, ebbed and flowed a little bit. So it's a cool album, not crazy, but I do hate this a lot less than I hate a lot of projects from Griselda for whatever it's worth. If you want to check out my reaction to the original Stab and Shot, check this video right here or click on this video.